Nancy Pelosi is Speaker of the House. Every word she utters can influence the stock market. If you ask an average American, well, should Nancy Pelosi and her husband be trading stocks while she's running the House? They'd say no. I mean, the idea that Nancy Pelosi's husband could engage in stock trades with Google and her position on Google has no relation to it, I mean, that's absurd.
All right, well, that was Judicial Watch President Tom Fitton on the show Monday saying most Americans would say Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi's trading stocks with her husband while running the House is wrong. It appears Tom has a pretty good pulse on how the American people feel, according to exclusive polling only seen right here on Spicer and Company from Trafalgar and Conventions of State Action. 75% of Americans say that members of Congress and their spouses trading stocks while they're serving in office gives them an unfair advantage and should be stopped. Well, joining us now to discuss all this is the president of Conventions of State Action, Mark Meckler. Mark, good to see you. Welcome back to the show. Some interesting polling here. It's pretty bipartisan response. 69% of Democrats, 78% of Republicans, and 80% of independents all say Congress should not be allowed to trade stocks while in office. Talk us through your findings, and were you surprised that this was so bipartisan?
Yeah, I am surprised in the sense that it's very rare to find a poll like this where you see such bipartisan agreement on any issue in America today. I'm not surprised in the sense that this is common sense. Americans like fair play. They don't like hypocrisy. They don't like cheating. And essentially what they view is they view this as cheating. Whether you're a Democrat, a Republican, or an independent, you don't like the idea that somebody else is playing on an uneven playing field and that you as an average American are at a disadvantage.
So the thing that I thought was interesting, and I want to put it up on the screen for our viewers, some of the big stocks that she was trading, I mean, it's Google, Microtechnology, Salesforce, Roblox, Disney. I mean, these are big things, and you heard Tom Fitton talk about this. I mean, those are things that she oversees. And so I think the thing that was interesting to me about the poll was it's and spouses, right? And I think that's an interesting question. I get the members of Congress, but people on a bipartisan basis, as Lyndsay said, are saying, yeah, and your spouse too.
Yeah, I think it's pretty obvious to most Americans that if your husband or wife is serving in Congress and they have influence over these companies or they know about regulations that are coming down the pike before anybody else, that information flows back and forth between any husband and wife. It's obvious it's going to happen. And if it's going to happen, it's going to result in unfair trading. And that's what Americans don't like.
You know, one last thing before we let you go. Twitter banned the popular account Nancy Tracker, the account that actually highlighted how Nancy Pelosi's stock portfolio outperformed well-known Wall Street investors. I mean, this is crazy that you have probably one of the people she's invested in is banning accounts showing what she's doing.
Yeah, and look, this is open public information. It's not opinion. There was no opinion journalism going on in there. There's no information going on. It's just reporting on public facts and figures. Really outrageous that we have this kind of censorship trying to protect the status quo where the wealthy inside Congress get wealthier on the backs of average people.
You know, it's interesting. I wonder if they literally see some of your polling from conventions of states and say, okay, pull that account down. We don't need that to happen. Mark Meckler, really insight. Thank you for sharing this polling exclusively with us and our viewers.
Thank you.
You bet. All right, well, we just talked about that. Nancy Pelosi outdoing a lot of these other people. So Warren Buffett, move over. Somebody else is the new top dog when it comes to trading stocks. We just showed you the stellar stock returns for our public servants, how they're raking in a ton of money. And when you specifically hone in on the Pelosi family, they've been having a banner year outpacing both the market and the world's greatest investors in 2021. By purchasing call options, Nancy and Paul Pelosi are able to gain far more exposure to companies than the general public would expect. So how is Nancy Pelosi's portfolio consistently outpacing the market and top hedge funds? And should lawmakers be able to trade individual stocks? Here to answer that and much, much more is YouTube sensation Meet Kevin. Kevin, welcome back. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you as well. Thank you so much for having me. And oh my gosh, I can't tell you, I cannot believe when Nancy Pelosi's Tracker Twitter account got banned on Twitter because I can't get verified on Twitter. Twitter is all about censorship. They delete my posts too. It is atrocious. But we're here to talk about Nancy Pelosi and how she beat the market by 20% last year.
Well, right. And so this is the thing that's interesting. Over the holidays, one of the books that I was reading was Bob Iger's sort of leadership book, right? And he talks about how he would call members of Congress when he had led Disney and say, hey, this merger's coming up. I want to answer questions. I want to tell you what's going on. So you have major corporate leaders and government folks talking to members of Congress saying, hey, we're going to be doing this. Maybe we need some help. This isn't what we're going to do. We're in trouble. We're not in trouble. Government insights saying, hey, we're going to find these people. All of this stuff. How is that not insider information?
Oh, it 110% is. And not only is it insider information, but here's the thing. Like Nancy Pelosi specifically is able to take out leveraged positions on these by, like you had mentioned, using call options. So usually what they do is they go deep in the money, which means they're paying the least amount of extrinsic premium for these. So she's getting a really safe deal, but they're using leverage. So she's probably somewhere between 2 to 3 times leveraged on these bets that they're making for 12 to 18 months at a time. And they're making bets, like you had mentioned, on Micron, Disney, Google, the big tech ones, the volatile ones. So for example, they just made a bet on Roblox, and that one's probably down about 40%. But I bet by the time that option comes due in September of next year, they're probably going to be sitting pretty because they're pretty good. And when there's fear in the market, they buy. I don't know what they're hearing in Congress, but what I'd like is for them to tell us either the moment they make these trades, or how about this? Tell us 24 hours before you make the trade that you're going to make the trade. Let's get rid of this 45-day disclosure crap.
I would love that. Put some sunshine on it and let us know so we can get in on the deal as well. But Kevin, I want to get your opinion on this because Sean and I were discussing it just the other day. What if you're a day trader and your spouse decides to run for Congress? Do you have to quit your job then? How should that be played out?
Yeah, this is a tough one for debate because here's the opposite extreme that I'm going to use as a part of this argument is AOC, for example, has 0 investments. She's got $15,000 to $50,000 of student loan debt, and she's in Congress begging Biden to forgive student loan debt. Meanwhile, she's collecting $190,000 a year salary, going to the Met Gala, living in a fancy apartment, and wearing fancy outfits, right? So what kind of signal are we wanting to send to Americans too? Like, I don't know that the answer is no investing at all, because that tells our younger generations not to invest like what AOC is doing. But on the other side, look, the disclosure things, how they can sit behind these 45 to 90-day delays and insider trade, totally wrong. That has to stop. So I think the right answer is somewhere in the middle. I don't think we go for no trading at all, but if we do even instant disclosure is better than what we have now. Personally, I think, best case scenario, 24 hours ahead of the time, then everybody has the same opportunity you do.
So let me pick up on that, because when I was in the White House, one of the first things they do is tell you, okay, you got to sell all of your individual stocks. You're only allowed to invest basically in mutual funds. I think that the members of Congress, to your point, they should be able to invest, but that's the standard for the rest of the government. Why not for them? That way, you invest in a Vanguard fund or some other mutual fund, it goes up, but it's not made up of one company.
You know what? You got me. That is a very, very fair point. And quite frankly, maybe that's the best answer, is invest in even actively managed index or not index funds or ETFs, right? So pick a Cathie Wood ETF. Let her do the stock picking, right? Pick a low fee mutual fund, or just invest in the total stock market with Vanguard. Done. That, absolutely, you're right. Maybe that's the best answer. You know what? Let's do that and better disclosure. But we definitely got to get this disclosure issue fixed.
I just can't believe it's gone on the way it has. Kevin, I appreciate your insight. It's so important to really understand how this all works, and you know better than almost everybody else. So thank you.
Thank you so much for having me. Have a great new year.